this video, we're going to be demonstrating our pre-inspection checklist. First, we'll pop the hood, we'll check all the fluids. Then we'll do our 360 walk around, we'll check our tires. After that, we'll go ahead and start the vehicle. We'll check our transmission fluid, our indicator lights in the front and the rear, and all of our gauges and lights inside the cab. And we'll also check to make sure all of our cargo is secure inside the cab, make sure the toolbox is completely closed, and make sure everything's secure in the bed of the truck. What we'll do first is we'll check our engine oil, which is the dipstick here. Remove it. We'll wipe it off. After completely reinstalling it, pull it out. And see that the oil mark is all the way to the top, and we'll go ahead and clean it, and I'll show you why that is. The hash marks, that's empty, this is full. We had our oil level all the way to the top, signifying that we are not low on oil. So we'll go ahead and reinstall it, and we'll move on to the next item. Here's our antifreeze overflow tank. You notice you can see that it's clear, you can see the fluid through it. It's at our minimum line and it is hot, so it's at its proper level. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next. Here is our DEF fluid filter neck, or diesel exhaust fluid. This does not have a visual verification. We do have an indicator on the dash. When we get low, it will give us a 500-mile range. But typically when we fuel the vehicle up, we'll go ahead and top off the DEF fluid as well, just to ensure that we don't run out while we're driving the vehicle. Now we're going to check the belt. It's just a visual inspection. You can reach in, grab it, make sure it's not loose. Just do a brief overview of it, make sure it's not cracked or damaged in any way. This has a serpentine belt, means one belt drives the entire system, so if that belt goes while driving, you lose all power to everything else. Here's our power steering fluid. We'll go ahead and open that and wipe it off again. Same as the oil. The oil level is at the full mark, so we know we're not low on power steering fluid. And here's our brake fluid. We'll look at it. It's clear. Has indicator marks for high and low. Looking at we're within range, so we're good for that. And this here is our windshield wiper fluid container. On this one there is no way to check it, but we have an indicator on our dash that will tell us when that is running low. So from now we'll go ahead and start it so I can check the transmission fluid. After I check the transmission fluid level, we'll be done under the hood, and then we can move on to the rest of the inspection. These are your low mark and your high mark while the transmission's hot, and it's at the high mark, so we know the transmission fluid is good. Go ahead and install it. And that completes the under hood inspection, so we can go ahead and close the hood, and then we'll move on to the cab. Do our in-cab inspection. So first of all, we'll go ahead and start the vehicle. Once we get up to operating temperature, we want to make sure our engine temperature is not too hot, our voltmeters we're charging, our fluid level, and make sure our tach is working, and our speedometer is going to be working. We can go through, make sure there's no error codes, and make sure our exhaust flow is good. It says it's okay. We have our dimmer switch here, so make sure we have interior light. Again, so we can turn it off with the door open. And then after that, we can go ahead and check all of our marker lights and our brake lights. We'll continue on with our in-cab inspection. We just want to make sure everything's secure. We want to make sure we have our cone that we place on the hood when we park the vehicle. So before we get in it and drive off, we have to retrieve it, do our 360 walk around to make sure there's nothing in our way and we don't hit anything out in the field. Go to the back here, we have our organizing bags. In this truck we have 2 of them. We have our MSDS information, our truck logs, it's just various paperwork that we need in the field, and make sure everything's secure. Check the other side, we're good. Just make sure that all cargo inside the vehicle is secure and tidy. Now we will move to the rear of the vehicle. This truck has a toolbox. Try to pick up on it. It's closed. We make sure there's nothing under the toolbox that could come out or blow out of the vehicle while driving. Make sure our fire extinguisher is secure. This truck has an ice chest. It's tied down on the side and also on the top. Part of our daily inspection is always check the date. Make sure our monthly's been done on our fire extinguishers. We'll check the gauge, make sure we're still in the green, which we are, and this fire extinguisher has the tag here on the side in the month of April, and the inspection's already been done, and that is done on the 1st of every month. But we make sure that every time we drive the vehicle, we go over the fire extinguisher in the event that we need it. So that will conclude the rear of the truck, and we can move on to the marker lights to make sure all of our blinkers and brake lights are in good working order. Now we're going to check our lights. We'll check the headlights first. Low beams are on top, high beams are on bottom, so we got both low and high. We'll check our turn signal. So our front turn signals work as well. Check the hazards. Hazards work. Then we'll move to the rear of the truck. Check the brakes and the indicator lights in the rear. Driver's side turn signal. Right side turn signal. Brakes. Hazards. And the reverse backup lights. And everything's working. Before we pull away, we want to make sure, do a visual inspection of the tires, make sure the tread is in good condition. The tires don't have any kind of bubbles or bulging. The tire looks good. And we'll check every single tire when we do our walk around. And while we're doing our 360 walk around, we'll walk around, make sure that there's no damage to the truck, check the body, and that'll complete our 360 walk around. After the 360 walk around has been completed, we can now retrieve our cone, and now we can drive the vehicle. After our inspection's been done, we checked under the hood, we walked around the vehicle, and we checked the tires. Before we drive the vehicle, we'll fill out this form. Every vehicle that is in our fleet has this form. We'll note here the truck number, the time which we're driving, the date, and the odometer reading. Down here, if there's nothing wrong, we'll check the condition of the above vehicle is satisfactory. We'll check that and sign it. If not, whatever problems that the vehicle may have, we'll check that and put it down in remarks. And if there's something wrong with the vehicle, potentially we might take it out of service and not drive it until that infraction's been fixed.